Well, good morning. This is
Morning.
good morning, Marcela. This is our second recording, I think. Yeah. And today I would like to do with you the exercise of the direct path approach to awakening. As I am developing more and more in this understanding, I see how important it is that you start to have some kind of awakening to what you are in essence, to be able to proceed from there. And as such, this might be a very interesting exercise also for other people to view this and to experience this. Because awakening is getting to know your consciousness. And that's very important, I think. It has been for me, at least, to fully understand the strength of, well, really anything around the principles. But it can also be non-duality, or can be Buddhism, or it can be any other different approach to life, which makes you more aware. Now, let's start this exercise. It's only maybe 15 minutes or so. It's very short, but it's very simple and very straightforward. And what I'll do, I'll guide you through it. And if you would like to sit as relaxed as possible and just enjoy the ride.
All right. I'm really curious to explore ourselves,
Wonderful.
the connection with whatever.
Don't hesitate to ask any questions in between. There's no need to go into a trance or something or anything. It's just a matter of I'm going to propose some stuff to you and then ask some questions. Is that okay?
Yes.
Now, relax your attention and try to focus on nothing. Just let it go and let it happen as things happen. Now focus all your attention on my voice. And at the same time, be aware, or try to be aware, of everything you perceive. And you let everything appear as it appears. Just let it come in through your senses. Do you notice that you can broaden your attention, your consciousness? And you can narrow it down again to my voice. You only hear my voice. You don't notice anything else. And then you can widen it again. And you can narrow it down again. You can do that. Can't you? It's a bit like a diaphragm from a camera. You see that also when it closes down, you get this very small hole and it opens up again and you can see everything again. Zooming, yes. Well, zooming is different because that's then they change the lenses, the position of the lenses. But diaphragms make sure that you get less light on the receptacle, and that's why the depth increases. The sharpness of the depth increases. So this is a very practical approach to handling a situation where you are focused on one thing only. When you are disappointed or angry or anything which is less than neutral, then you're focusing on that thing only. And if you just learn to just open up, you see all the rest again. That's what children do when they are focused on things they are playing with. They are playing with that, only with that, and not seeing anything around in the world. And that's what we can use for ourselves as well, because it helps. Oh, wait a minute, I'm focusing on this thing. I'm angry with my wife now, and it doesn't help me. Okay, let's open up. And there you go again. And that's what we do all the time, really, when we try to relax our thinking.
Mhm.
So you can see that you can shift, your focus can shift from very, very focused to very wide. It's like a little bit like a zoom, but it's not the same. But anyway, and then something happens, and all your attention automatically returns to that, and you recognize that probably because it works for you as well. If a bird would fly by your window now, you would probably see it fly by if you have your eyes on
Or the branches, how they are moving.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you go back to where you are, and so it goes on like this and that all the time. Really goes narrows down, opens up, narrows down, opens up, and so all the time. Now let's take a look at all those things that appear. It's a sound, it's an image, it's a feeling, it's a smell, it's a taste, and even your thoughts.
So all the senses.
All the senses come and go. So let's highlight a few and see what they are. And feel free to ask any question in between. Are you able to zoom in and zoom out?
Yeah, as you were asking me, I could just focus on your voice first and sound of it, and then I could just, as you instructed me, to perceive the other stuff. So I could feel my chair, I could hear the sounds from the corridor, I could just see the branches, how they were moving. Yeah. And then I could see how I focused again on your voice. And
okay, let's go back to the focus on my voice. And while you listen to my voice, these sounds you hear, they appear in your consciousness. So you hear them. Do you have to do something for that?
No.
No. Are you actively hearing? I mean, do you have to do something to hear my voice?
No, either.
No. So hearing is completely natural. There is a sound, and it is heard. Hearing happens. There is no one who has to do anything for that. And if you now focus on something you see, do you have to do something for that image to appear?
No, I have so many things in my perspective, even that which I can't see clearly right now, but anytime I wished, I could just change my focus on something around me. Yeah.
So you don't have to do anything to make those images appear. They are just there.
Yeah.
You probably also feel some things at the moment, how you sit in your chair, for instance. Do you have to do something to allow those experiences to arise?
No. Something was itchy on my finger, so I just scratched it.
Yeah. It just happens, isn't it? Yeah.
Sitting on the chair that I may just be able to sit for some time, and then it will feel just urgent to stand up or to do something different.
Yeah. So do you have to do something to allow those experiences to appear?
No. I can just perceive it. I can.
Okay. Can you make them disappear?
Not really.
No, they're still there, isn't there?
Yeah.
So the sound, the image, the feeling, it's just there. You just experience those experiences. Now, the most important thing now is your thought. Focus for a moment on the next thought that comes to mind. You have one?
Yes.
Okay. Did you have to do anything to make that thought appear?
No, I was just attracted by that.
Yeah. So even thoughts just appear in your reality.
The same as those, let's say, I don't know how to say that. Those hints from outside, seemingly from outside.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they just appear. So all these things, they just show up in your experience, in our consciousness when we expand it. It just happens.
And sooner or later, I'm just aware of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Where is all this happening?
Mm. Where is all this happening? Well, those subjects or whatever around me, the sounds, that's what's going on outside. Those are just situations or whatever which is going on outside. That's one thing. And then there is the second thing, or how to call it, and that's me.
Your
That's
consciousness, isn't
my
it?
consciousness, exactly, and how I perceive it, how I feel it, how I can smell it, how I can hear it, how it feels the touch of that. Yeah. So thanks to my consciousness. So to me, there are two things outside. That's the situations or whatever is going on.
Mm-hmm.
And inside, something inside of me, something which is running.
Yes, but still, if you look at those things which are outside you, they are created through the fact that you are experiencing and thinking something about it.
Yeah, that's true.
So
without my consciousness, I couldn't have really perceived that.
Absolutely. So in the end, it's all happening inside you.
Mm-hmm.
Even the things which are happening around you.
Yeah. Or in other words, maybe what I made up from that.
Yeah. Or what you created from that. Because that's what your brain does. It creates your reality.
Yeah. And my brain offers the action, so to say, or offers the possibilities, what to do with that.
Yeah,
how
absolutely.
to feel it, how to experience it, what to think about, how to act on it.
Yeah. So it is that you are the consciousness in which all these things occur. They appear there. So we are the one in which all those experiences loom, they manifest, and within which they appear. Now, the next question would be, do you create that consciousness?
No, I can't really.
Can you turn it off?
No. Till I live, I can't, I would say.
It's
and
always
what
there.
happens then, I don't really know.
Yeah, it's always there, isn't it?
Yeah.
And if it wasn't there, you couldn't experience anything, as you already said. This consciousness looks like a very small thing in a corner somewhere. But it's very important to your experience, isn't it? It's the basis on which you build your experience. Otherwise, you wouldn't have it. Yeah. So it's below everything, really.
I think we can't really say how expanded or sure it may be. It's just we can't really say this.
No.
Which is the size? What is the size of it? It's
that's good. We'll get to that.
Indescribable by the words.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll get to that later. Don't worry. Okay. Thoughts and sensory experiences, they come and they go. Can you recall an experience from when you were about 5 years old? When you were a tiny little Marcela?
Well, with the help of my album, for example. I recently went through my album because we were just remembering something and preparing a festive event of mine. And so as I was going through this album, it helped me, the photos, the pictures, the atmosphere helped me to remember those situations. And so I would say thanks to that and thanks to those pictures, I was kind of able to remember how it was, what I felt,
Okay. And Does that mean that you were there then?
I'm not sure if I understand the question now.
Does that mean that you were, when you looked at those pictures, it looks like it's proof that you were there then, at that moment?
No, of course I wasn't, but I could, thanks to those pictures, kind of recall.
Yeah, but I mean, at
how
that
I
moment,
felt at that time
yes.
in the past, but I wasn't really there.
No, of course not.
No way.
No, of course not. But at that moment, when you were 5, you were there then, weren't you?
Mm-hmm.
And you were, at that moment, you were unconsciousness.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's turn when you were 15.
Mm-hmm.
An entirely different young lady with different desires, a different body probably, a different schooling, different experiences. But still the same consciousness was there.
Mm-hmm.
And you were totally different from when you were 5, weren't you?
Mm-hmm.
The same was your consciousness, because your thoughts and your body and your experience as a 5-year-old were completely different from when you were 50.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that insane, really?
Mm-hmm.
Because the same consciousness is still there, and even though you have become an adult now, we are always there. We call this consciousness, just to give it a name, with our presence, that which hears my voice, which now perceives me through your eyes, is always there. And you can't turn it off, because then you won't experience anything.
Hasn't it been affected by my experiences, by my education, environment I have been through, background? This is what's coming to me, how it has affected, but why it feels that the same consciousness, why it feels now, let's say, a bit different.
Yeah, absolutely. It feels different because you are thinking.
The brain offers those programs, those concepts.
Absolutely.
Based on what I know, really.
Yeah, and what's in your memory. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the only source your brain has, really.
Mm-hmm.
So always keep that in mind. Brain's only source is your memory. It's always old information, which has already been.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We've now established that we are always aware, and we don't have to do anything for that.
Mm-hmm.
And that the experiences loom and disappear. They come up and they disappear again. Again and again.
Mm-hmm. For example, this morning, the electricity was off at one moment, and I was thinking, okay, it will be on in a few moments, but it wasn't. So I just was thinking, okay, what shall I do? Maybe call the electricity emergency center, ask them. That would be probably good to do because, I'm having this meeting with Swear and my daughters are working, and we were just about to prepare breakfast. So no coffee, no tea, no porridge. And I said, okay, let's do something and let's see if I may succeed. So I am saying that I was just reacting.
Yeah.
Acting on what
on the situation
I couldn't have prepared before. And it just happened. So I was acting on the moment, on the situation, using my preliminary downloaded concepts and possibilities and knowledge, where to find the telephone number, which one to choose, for example, how to proceed. And as I was doing it, because it came to me as a good idea, when I finally reached out to the lady through the vendor machine and how it always goes, the electricity went on.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I said, hello, what's your problem? And I said, well, it seems there is no more problem, but there had been a problem. And she said, yes, I can see it in the system. So if there is anything again, please let us know. And that was solved.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, the same would happen with me with the preparations for the wedding, and when the car broke down and stuff like that. I couldn't have been more at ease. I said, we'll fix something. We'll fix it. Don't worry. We'll take fitting action.
Yeah.
And then suddenly things get so much lighter.
Why I am saying that and what I'm seeing about this morning situation, and probably it may relate to what you have just mentioned about your fixing car situation, that maybe even if I hadn't called the emergency electricity center, it might have got solved. And maybe not. Who knows?
You don't know.
It might have taken longer. Who knows, Maybe somehow.
Does it matter?
Helpful, but I don't know. I can't really know. No, but this is funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
No matter which steps we actually take, it somehow, after some time, the next step turns out.
Yeah, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and again, we can just react, we can act on that, see what comes to us through our consciousness.
Yeah.
What feels good.
Yeah. And in relation to your electricity fallout, you could experience this consciousness as your personal electricity, as if you are constantly loaded by that electricity and allowed to carry on. Isn't that wonderful?
And I was also experiencing that blackest scenario.
Yeah.
Somewhere underneath. What if the electricity isn't on till I meet Svir? Oh, I might go to my friend, to T-Nets, and I might go do and that. And then I said, oh, let that go. Maybe it will be on.
Yeah, and that's...
But the brain, again, in order to provide me with the best stuff it could.
Yes, absolutely.
Even that. What if? Or what would you do? So that I was prepared as best as I could be.
Yeah. And it's wonderful that to experience that and see, okay, this is all there. It's wonderful that we have this all. So let's try and go back to expounding your experience as broadly as possible. Everything is okay. It's there anyway. And we do that narrowing exercise again by focusing on my voice. As you let yourself go into that, let it go wide and as wide as possible now.
Okay, ik heb dit op het web gevonden voor
Sorry, this is my telephone, which is intervening. Go away. I don't need you right now. Sorry about that. So let your experience go as wide as possible. Is that consciousness somewhere in your body? Can you feel it somewhere?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you feel it?
In my stomach.
In your stomach. And is it there all the time?
No.
Could it be that your body is in your consciousness?
That my body is in my consciousness?
But it's the other way around. We always project our consciousness into our body. If you hurt your toe, for instance, I've done that recently by stepping out of bed and not paying attention and hurt my toe. It doesn't matter, but all your focus goes to your toe. You said, that's where my consciousness is. No, it's not true.
Or
it's everywhere.
I jump when I go to bed in order not to go around the bed. When I go to from the bathroom, I jump over the bed, over my husband to my bed. And it has happened several times that I really overjumped.
Okay.
And then it came to me, oh, what would happen if you have hurt yourself and so on? But this is again the scary thoughts. But it's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. It's fun that way. Have you ever noticed that someone gets too close for comfort? I've had it a few times with in a restaurant where there was this young lady who just came too close, and he said, "I don't like this."
Yeah,
She didn't touch me, but yeah, it's when someone gets yeah, absolutely. You are aware of that, and that's your consciousness, which is around you, really. For me, it's around me, and it's supported by the hard currents understanding. They say we have a field around us, electromagnetic field around us, which is about 1.5 meters in diameter, I think. And we are aware of that. So can we say that your body is in your consciousness? Is that okay with you?
Okay.
Yeah. So it's actually true that your body is part of your consciousness, isn't it?
My consciousness definitely considers my body.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Knows about my body, where it is, where it feels, how it feels, what it can hear, what it can smell.
And we experience our body in our consciousness. Not the other way around.
Let's say there it's the boundary of my body, but yet, as you have just described, that comfort zone goes even farther.
Yes.
Definitely.
And that's still consciousness, I think. Actually, we experience all our bodies, our thoughts, our feeling, our smell, our hearing, all that stuff in this previously mentioned consciousness. Is there something wrong with this consciousness?
I don't think so.
No. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with this consciousness.
All the time you have been just talking now, it feels simply good.
Yeah.
So to me, that's the signal that just for being grateful for that consciousness.
Which feels more real. Gift. Yeah. And which feels more real? The feeling you got when you realized this, or your consciousness itself?
I think it's very closely connected.
They are connected, aren't they? Yeah. And that do you see
one side of one thing and another side of the same thing?
It is, absolutely. And they see that you can always go back to that expanded consciousness. Now, let's wait for your next thought. You have one?
Let's wait for, all right.
The next thought. Can you control this thought? Can you remove it?
No.
Can you control it?
Well, I can actually turn my attention to something different.
Yeah. So you forget it. Are you the thinker? Or does thinking just happen?
Well, to me, I am the thinker. I have been definitely kind of constructed to think.
But
on the other hand, the thinking just happens. I can't really control what comes to me, which thoughts come to me, but my body or the system of it has been definitely constructed so that I can perceive the thoughts. I can be aware of those thoughts.
There's a choice, isn't there?
Choice that I can see the thoughts.
Yeah, or not. You can ignore them.
Yeah, that's definitely. I was just I stopped or paused because to me it's not choice what comes to me. I can't really control which ideas, which thoughts come to me. But as you said, I can kind of choose with what thoughts to go farther and which thoughts to ignore because they are simply not useful for me at the moment. And I can tell it in the best way by my feelings. Or even sometimes can't perceive the feelings. I can straight away perceive the physical symptoms, for example, tension in my body, wherever it may be.
Yeah. So thinking just happens, and you decide, and that's your freedom. You decide which thought you are going to pay attention to.
Yes, that's it.
And that's what Sid also says. That's your freedom. You decide which thought you give attention to.
Although sometimes it may really look tempting, so to say, to go with those conceptual or habitual thoughts, which may seem so urgent and so serious, and it comes to me or to, I guess, to other people too, that I have to do something about that. I have to analyze it, at least try. But the more serious it looks, the more tempting, the more tension I may feel. I know now.
Yeah. And then it's
that's just a
non-helping
signal.
thought.
That's just a signal of my body or of whatever.
It's a signal. Yeah, it's a signal from your consciousness. Don't pay attention to this.
Well, you can.
You can, but
you might end up not to feel very well, or even worse. So,
absolutely.
what if you just changed consciously your attention, your focus to something else?
Absolutely.
To something what feels more meaningful.
Or let yourself be divided to something else, or change your thinking. Just let it happen.
That's what I wanted to add.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't have to change anything really. I really can. The thing is just to notice it and accept what's going on. Right now the dog is barking.
Yes, absolutely.
It came out of blue. So let's accept that, and he or she will probably finish.
Hopefully stop soon.
Yeah.
Probably the mailman.
So definitely compared to the previous times, I can see now the best way is actually not so much to, again, consciously try to change my focus, but just more allow it to be, even if it doesn't feel so good. Just, all right, okay, it doesn't feel so good now. Let's patiently wait. Let's continue in whatever.
Yeah.
But continue and keep looking in the direction of what sounds good.
Open up your aperture.
Yeah.
Okay. I got a few last questions. In this whole field, where is Marcela?
In this
whole awareness, this, where's Marcela?
That's an interesting question. What came to me, well, somebody gave me my name when I was born to the, let's say, box called Marcela. And since then, the energy coming through me has learned to experience itself in this physical box as Marcela, and has learned and experienced a lot of stuff, and has even learned to act as Marcela, maybe even based on this is really funny, on expectations and predictions and judgment of, again, the physical box of Marcela, how it is supposed to act, react, as it might have been in the past. So, and as it might have turned out as useful, and sometimes even not so useful, but compared to the past, I have been definitely more aware. Who is I actually? The physical box of myself, right? Which is Marcela, wearing the green jumper, a black skirt, I don't know. Definitely, that whatever I may be, I have learned not to buy into so much those discomfortable thoughts proved by the feelings, which I have been immensely grateful. And compared to the past, I have started to choose more consciously what I really want.
Okay.
What feels good. And it has proved, at least how I can see it now, that it's really beneficial to follow what I really love, to follow my passion, to follow my joy, my happiness, because this brings other joy and happiness into my life. And that's what matters most, actually, to me, as I can see it now, to my physical box of Marcela. I don't know how to call it. Otherwise, it just came to me. And this energy running through me, but it brings another idea. Does it ever finish this energy somewhere? Well, now it has been somehow limited or closed in my body. It may look so, but based on what we have just shared, it seemed infinite to me.
It is, I think.
It seems there is no end. And it seems as even when one day my physical body may die, as I would say that. I don't know when it comes, whenever it may come. And I, as I was given the name Marcela, won't be able to be aware or conscious of myself. That energy which is running through me, it will be here anyway.
Yeah.
It won't be damaged by the physical body. And I don't know if it sounds maybe crazy, sorry about that, but this is what came to me based on our conversation now.
It's wonderful. So the funny thing is, we all experience you as a person, as Marcela. But when we really look, when you really look, you don't know where you are. But you're still there. Isn't that crazy?
It is.
So you are not necessarily in that body, but you are that consciousness which experiences everything. And that consciousness cannot be hurt, I think. It cannot be cut. It cannot be damaged. It cannot be crushed. It cannot be. It's not, it has no substance.
Yeah, definitely. It feels so now, based on our conversation, even more clearly. Sounds to me that
so there's
exactly
nothing...
what you have just said. Yeah, it feels infinite. It feels not only limited by my physical box of Marcela. Oh.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
So our consciousness exists forever. And sometimes we label it Marcela, sometimes we label it Sweer, And sometimes we label it something else. It's just the experience you're now having.
You know what is interesting and what's just coming to my head? As a little girl, maybe I might be 5 years old, I don't know. It just felt very meaningful to kind of explore that, what we have been just sharing. And it came to me, I can remember it clearly, many times. How is it with birth and death? How it can be that the people are born and then they die, and where does this energy of ourselves goes? And it came to me as a little girl. I don't know really how old I was at those times, but it came more often, so it might have been in various ages actually, that, oh well, it must be coming just back. It goes away a little bit as the body dies, and then it may come back again, partly, or in a different box, so to say, different. So that was my explanation, which I don't know why, but I kind of needed, longed for as a little girl, and it made sense to me, and I just ended up with that explanation as satisfactory, and yeah.
Yeah, and there's billions of people who believe that, who are convinced that it works that way. That we are going to reincarnate into a new body or a new experience. Maybe not even in a body, I don't know. But into a new experience. Maybe you can reincarnate into a snail, for instance. I don't know. You might. I don't know.
Anything which demonstrates somehow life.
Yeah. And we are
actually
part
any
of
subject.
Life. Yeah. And the beauty of that is that we can always be aware that we are part of life and not apart from.
Yeah. This reminds me of that beautiful metaphor of that ocean we have been really part of.
Yeah.
But for the waves, we forget about it sometimes when the waves start looking really threatening and we feel separated. We may feel separated and we want to solve the problem of the wave till we, as it might look that this morning, a little bit threatening, the situation with the electricity falling out. And then I just realized, oh, maybe I might try this. And even if I didn't try, if I just calm down, as I would in the past, definitely be much more freaking out, because I would have had been planning the meeting and, and how that might turn out and how I might manage. And I would be so much focused and occupied with all that's analyzing and thinking it. Yeah. Instead of just relaxing.
Closing down the aperture instead of relaxing it and say, oh, let's see what happens now.
That's
what
I
opportunities.
actually realized. I'm really thankful for that pretty quickly. And this morning that, if it sounds good, let's try to call the center, the emergency electricity center, and then you will see. And then you will know what to do next. It will somehow show up.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
It does all the time. Thank you.
You're welcome.
For a wonderful conversation.
It was very nice. Yes.
Let's stop the conversation now. I will recording now.